everyone, and welcome to Danny After Dark. If you are new here, make sure to like and subscribe so you don't miss a notification or a new episode. Tonight is the weekly True Crime and Chill, and my apologies, I had to start a new stream. The internet went down completely where I am. Like everything dropped off. So I figured I'll just erase the stream that I had going and start a brand new one just for sake of simplicity. So my apologies. Yeah, technology isn't always your friend. So while we wait a little bit for people to trickle back in, again, Mr. Beckham will be joining us tonight. And there is certainly a lot to discuss this week. Y'all, the news has been crazy. Everybody has been talking about the Brian Kohberger sentencing, which we will get to. I was debating whether to do like a quick little video earlier this week, just because it's worth being discussed, but I figured I wanted to give it its proper time. So I figured we would just wait for the True Crime and Chill tonight. So Beckham, welcome.
Hey, what happened?
My internet went down, completely down. I thought it was just a slow Wi-Fi connection, which can happen, and I start to buffer, but no, it just conked out. So I just restarted a different stream. So other than that, how are you doing?
I'm good.
All right. So you're actually pretty on time, which is rare. So a lot has happened. Last week was the True Crime Podcast Festival, which has been amazing, absolutely amazing. And shout out to Travis Myers. He gave me one of the Tommy Keene shirts. So he was the booth right next to me. So friend of the show, Travis Myers, thank you so much for the shirt. I freaking love it. It fits so nice and comfortable. So thank you. Thank you so much, Travis. Travis will be back on Danny After Dark. He is, friend of the show. He will be back. There's just so much to discuss with him. So stay tuned for that. In the meantime, there is a video being worked on to kind of recap my time at the True Crime Podcast Festival. Again, it was the first time I had a Danny After Dark booth, which was, I stressed for it for months. And it was just such unnecessary stress. It was such a blast. So the video is in the works. In the meantime, if you're like, I want to see stuff, head on over to either my Facebook page, the Danny After Dark Facebook page, or better yet, the Danny After Dark Instagram account.
Oh, you froze.
I have posted. I don't have the ability to zoom in, James, but it just says Tommy Keene, Detective, City of New York Police. So yeah, it's cool. It is cool. I love this shirt. It's so comfy. Which y'all order yours too. Travis has a whole bunch. In addition to his books, he's so much merch for his podcast. So yeah. What else? Book club will be next Thursday night. It will be Lynette Fromey's book Reflection. So I'm really looking forward to that. That was what was voted upon this month. Beckham, I can't remember. Do you have Lynette's book?
No.
Oh, bummer. I was hoping you would
never.
Be
I never got. I just never. Whenever we got into the Manson thing, I got Chaos was first. Then I had the other stuff for surrounding the case, and then met y'all, and then we were researching the books that we had, the major books, and then you guys, I think, diverted into the girls books, where I did not go into the girls books. So I've never read any of the girls books. I've just gotten information from other people about them.
Oh,
I think you guys covered it on the, on our other.
We did, but
yeah, so long ago.
But this will be more of like a full on.
Oh, okay.
Review, deep dive into it. I'm trying to get Paul to come on for it because.
So basically, for you, it was just a recap.
For book club.
Yeah, well, for you reading the book, because you already had read it, it was kind of a review.
So I'm rereading it, and doing extensive notes on points that I want to make sure the listeners, viewers get to see, and then kind of my recommendations for it and my my thoughts about it. If
I
there's
went
something
more
where I'm
into
like,
the
yeah,
I went more into the court docs and the other research
yeah.
stuff. That's where I went. I didn't go into the girls' books.
Which, you know what, like we all had our little paths and it worked out because then we covered everything. So
Yeah.
I was talking about the Manson Saga discussion panel so much to people at the podcast convention because people are like, oh, how did you start your channel? Well, let me tell you. Can you say a COVID project in a Manson YouTube channel? Which was
You have two kinds of people that will respond when they find out you study the case a little bit. I'll never consider myself an expert.
No,
But,
oh gosh, no.
But when I say that, I was like, well, I know enough to talk about it, you know.
Mm-hmm.
You're gonna get two kinds of people. You're gonna get people that are like intrigued, and then you're gonna get the opposite, like, oh my God, that's Manson and them or the devil, and they were
But not when you're talking to
complete.
people who are into true crime.
Right.
Like,
Those are gonna be
if
the
they're
more
already
right.
there and they're like, hey, I'm into your
Yeah,
channel, or
they'll
hey, I'm
be
here for this, it's
right.
not a jump.
No, they'll
But for
be the
like the
ones.
average person, yeah.
Yeah, they'll be like the ones that are more intrigued about it. It's kind of
Yeah.
funny.
Yeah, for sure. So yes, Lynette Fromey's book Reflection, the book club, that will be next Thursday. That will be the show for next week. There's a lot of fun stuff coming up in the works. I assure you, when I did the True Crime Podcast Festival, I've met so many amazing, amazing people. Like, I can't even emphasize like how amazing these people are. And you may be seeing quite a few of them on my channel coming up in the next several months. So stay tuned. Stay tuned.
I would have just been going. I would have just been giving out hellos to everybody.
Like for Karen Diamond here.
There you go.
Hi, Karen. So yeah, quickly before I kind of jump to the chat, yeah, if you are not already following me in all my socials, I will update the drop down bar. Right now it's completely empty because I just want to get another stream going, but I will update it with everything. So make sure you follow me there. And again, if you want to see stuff from the True Crime Podcast Festival before the video is put together, go over the Instagram page, go over to the Facebook page. You will see it. Other than that, a bunch of stuff coming up in the works. So stay tuned. Lots of really exciting things. Announcements will be coming shortly. And I will leave it at that. So, oh gosh, Beckham, there was a lot this week. I know everybody's talking Koberger. We will get to that. There are a few other things. I know once we go to that will probably be a bulk of the conversation, but there's still so much else that happened. So let's just kind of dive on in. So Stephen Stearns has officially taken a plea deal. And if you do not know that name, he was the one who has been, for what we've learned is years and years and years, sexually assaulted Madeline Soto. So he has finally taken a plea deal. And I just realized I didn't say hi to everybody in the chat. I will do that after this one case, I promise.
You just said hi to Karen.
I know. Well, I mean,
because of the setup, because of my English accent setup.
She's Australian.
Or yeah, but she's a fan of MI6.
Mr. Beckham makes me laugh. Karen, he does not make me laugh. I can tell you that. It's usually like the complete opposite emotion, but we'll get there. So yes, Stephen Stearns, he pled guilty. And this is where part of the plea deal is really frustrating. He pled guilty to 8 counts of capital sexual assault on someone under the age of 12, 5 counts of sexual battery of someone under the ages of 12 and 18, and then 7 counts of lewd or lascivious molestation. He pled no contest to first-degree premeditated murder. So this means although he's taking a plea, he did not admit his guilt into the count of first-degree murder. So the plea deal that he took means he waived any right to an appeal. He was given 21 life sentences in the sexual abuse and death of 13-year-old Madeline Soto. The 21 life sentences will run concurrently, which means they will run at the same time. Stephen, who is just the biggest piece of shit, said in court after his plea deal, quote, I have prayed to God countless times to trade places with her, to take me instead. And unfortunately, that's just not how he works. I apologize for all the pain, end quote. What a horrible human being. He, for years, was sexually assaulting Madeline
There,
Soto.
Danny, there's going to be there's a shift, and it's happening. I mean, I'm not going to get too political, but I need to a little bit. I know you don't like it, but I'm not going to say what I'm going to go what, make it
I'm going to trust you.
argumentative.
Don't fuck
No,
it up.
no. I think because I think when you're talking about his sentencing and that kind of thing, the prison, the prison system, I think there's a major shift happening right now, and it's happening really fast, maybe too fast, with like the alligator Alcatraz place now, where before you did have Alcatraz, right? You did have that place where you couldn't, an escape would have been like, it has its history, and it's had its what do you call it? It had its reasoning for being put there. Man, also where you start to see, I don't know, I think we've talked about this actually, you and I, where people who might have thought they had mental health issues, where there used to be some really bad places they would put them in back in
Gosh, yeah.
back in like the earliest
asylums. Yep.
Yeah, so there you go. Thank you. The asylums, these hospitals, they were almost prison-like, type of places. Um, and then they went away for a while. They've gone away for a while, and it's like sometimes I can see the drastic measures early on. There was just no society was like, we're not going to mess with this. We're going to just, you committed a crime, we're gonna you'll be sentenced, or we're gonna just put you somewhere, and even if it was a harsh condition, right? They'll just give you minimum water and food. That was the early on stuff. Now it's beginning, like it's almost do you want to say things got laxed, where prisons now have the prisoners have access to internet, they have access to cell phones, they have access to steak and potatoes and bread. And I mean, man, well, bread is probably just the easiest thing to give them, but you know what I mean, like sweets and all kinds of stuff, making it really easy living, to where I've seen videos, like not even in the last month or two, about prisoners saying, yeah, I mean, I'd rather be here than be out there struggling. Everything's paid for here. So it's almost like, if for a long time, crime has just been like not put aside, but like, I don't know, like
on the back burner.
Nonchalant. Okay, look at her. And I got to talk about this. I got to talk about California. California is really bad crime. I'm sorry, but it is. For whatever stance you have on it, it's really bad. There's a lot of destruction happening in that state. Criminals do not pay for their crimes. But again, speaking of where I don't want to go political, things are happening really fast now. And when you get too laxed with society, these types of crimes, major crimes, start to happen. And it's just the way it is. I learned a long time ago, 20 something years ago, that sometimes there's just no explanation on why people are bad. They just are. And I mean, we could have this conversation that would last 3 hours, but that shift is moving pretty fast, to where they're going to get theirs, if you know what I'm saying.
Yeah.
Like, they're going to get it, and this guy is one of those guys. Like, I mean, look at Koberger. He almost got given the death sentence.
We will get to him.
I know, but I'm just saying, he almost got the death sentence of getting shot, or getting
by firing squad. Yeah,
firing squad, right? But man, there's a shift, and it's happening really fast. And some people that want to argue about, well, they're just humans too, and this and that. Well, yeah, let's see what happens if you have that same mentality, if you're attacked, or if one of your own family members are attacked, or something happens to one of your own, or even to somebody close to you, or to yourself, right? That opinion quickly changes, and that's the reality. But this guy deserves what he's going to get. I'm not even getting started on this trash. This guy.
Yeah, I wish his 21 life sentences were consecutively. I hate when they're concurrently and they're happening at
Right.
the
Then
same
there's
time.
a
It's
reason.
almost
Yeah.
like it takes away from what he
Right.
did.
Sure. Of course. He doesn't deserve this little pause, like you said. There's no,
Yeah. And I know there's a lot of talk, and trust me, I'm right there with y'all in regards to Madeline Soto's mother, because she allowed this. She knowingly allowed her boyfriend to sleep in bed with her child. Disgusting. Disgusting. And then we could have a whole conversation, a whole just show alone of when it went back when the mom learned what happened to Madeline, and she's saying, you know, well, does he need an attorney? And, this was okay, but what about this? And the cops are like, wait, what are you
no,
talking
my, yeah,
about? She's like, well, I didn't mean it like that. And it's like,
yeah,
where were you? She was not at the sentencing, not
maybe.
when in court when he accepted this plea deal. And that could kind of go either way. That could go either way, how people are kind of viewing it. But I still think the mom needs to be held accountable for this as well, because
Right.
what mom lets you say, yeah, sleep in bed with my boyfriend?
Oh
Are
my
you
God.
kidding me?
Yeah, oh, that is something that Jesus Christ.
Yeah, it's horrible. Like what happened to Madeline Soto is horrific.
She should also, well, I mean, she should be held. Let's just start there. She should also be held accountable. Let's just start there.
Mm-hmm. Yep, absolutely. I'm sure we haven't really heard anything definitive, like in regards to, is she getting like an immunity deal? Did she get one for giving everything she knows about, her boyfriend, Steven? I don't know. But people are still very angry about her.
Yeah.
Rightfully so. I am right there with you. Right there with you. So, yes, Steven has taken the plea. So, yeah, part of it is that he waived any right to an appeal. And with Koberger, we're going to see that he waived his right to an appeal soon. Here's the deal, folks. By law, they have the right to an appeal. So if you think, oh, they waived their right, they're fine. A month from now, a year from now, 5 years from now, they could try to appeal. Will it go anywhere is, who can say? But legally, they have the right to an appeal, even though they're signing a waiver saying, I'm giving up that right. So if we think this is the last that we're going to hear of some of these people, I doubt it. I doubt it. Like Beckham said, that on the one hand, are they going to a bit of a posh place in regards to with some of the access that prisoners have now? Yeah. But
Koberger, I'm not sure. They've been playing a lot about where he's going.
Yeah.
The media or the news, actually the news were saying, oh, he's not gonna have it that easy. He's gonna be at this place, and I mean, I don't know. Who knows? We'll see.
But at the end of the day, they're going to be surrounded by four walls. And what's to say a year from now, they're like, you know what? This is going to be the rest of my life. I want to try to file an appeal. Legally, they can. So I just want that known, that if people think they did say they're giving up their right, but they legally have the right to appeal. So yeah, unbelievable. Steven Stern's horrible, horrible. If you aren't familiar with this case and you want to deep dive a bit more, we've talked about it here and there. Feel free to do so. Again, it involves the sexual abuse for years of a child who was then murdered at the age of 13. So disclaimer.
She's not even given a chance.
Not familiar with it.
Not even given a chance at life, and this guy gets life or whatever. No, man.
Yeah, 21 life sentences. Yep. So, all right, let's jump back to the chat. My apologies, everyone. James Watson was the first one in for the new stream. Thank you. Do we get a discount for lost time? Yes, you get a discount in regards to Beckham was actually here on time. So that's your prize. That's your prize. Hey, PJ, of course, Karen Diamond. Good to see you as always. William Eddy, hello. K-Dog, I don't join book clubs. I don't want the hit on my man card points. No worries, K-Dog. You can.
Hey, man. Hey, K-Dog. These book clubs, man. It's usually like 90% women, 10% men. So your chances are good, and that's a real stat.
they're very female dominant.
Danny can attest to that.
Yes, but we'll leave it at that. But we'll leave it there. Hey, so yeah, K-Dog, just hang out here when I do the chat and hear me talk about the book. So no worries, you don't have to join. But of course, if you ever change your mind, if there was ever a book where you're like,
hey,
I really like that book.
Hey man, book clubs are not sausage fests, that's for sure.
Yeah, it's a great way to meet women. I will say that.
Makes you look smart. Something to talk about. It gives you an in to talk about.
Makes you look smarter than Beckham popping on those glasses he wears every show. Something to think about.
I need these.
No, you don't. James Watson, I only go to the book club for the free snacks. Let's see. Auntie Mimi is here. Hey, Auntie Mimi.
Hi, Auntie Mimi.
William Eddy, I saw this when Beckham was talking about it. So bring back asylums. I mean, there are still so many abandoned asylums.
I don't know about bringing back the asylum part of it because I feel for people that do have mental health issues and they do really need
it would never
help.
Fly now.
Yeah, not that. I was just talking about how in those times how they would hang you for stealing or for a crime. Or that was murder, right?
That was way back ago.
Well, that's what I'm talking. I've seen these asylum documents from like the early 20th century.
There was one here, Danvers State. That was
well, I'm talking about Dallas. More like Dallas. Dallas, they took them away in the 50s. But I saw the documents. I've read documents from like the teens, 20s, 30s, and I was just like, wow, whoa, man, what they did to some people. But yeah, I mean, you were hung, and you might have even been hung for mental health issues even back then. But I'm not talking about the drastic measures of the asylums. I'm talking about these people that are committing these horrendous crimes should really get more than just having a kosher life and for the rest of their life. That's what I'm saying.
What is a kosher life? You mean a cozy?
Cozy. Sometimes you make up words on here.
You certainly. I thought I was bad with mispronouncing words. You are one of a kind with making them up. James Watson, I'm with you on this. I just hate how the criminals are prioritized over the victims or the public.
Yeah, there you go.
That sadly happens very frequently. Very frequently. The bad people are just, quote, misunderstood, end quote, and had a, quote, hard upbringing, end quote.
I think that's changing.
Well, one of the things, so like, me and Beckham have been talking about for months now, what would have been leading up to the Kohberger trial and one of the things I was very outspoken in saying, the victims in this were going to get dragged if it went to trial. Because that's what the defense would do. Because they're trying, you're trying to save your client's life. And if part of it is bringing out every horrible, and not even horrible, just bad aspects of things we've all had in life, but putting that on a pedestal for the world to see, to try to almost, what's the words I'm looking for?
Hi, Renee. Hey, babe.
Yeah, just to try to make Kohberger look less, I don't know, but it was going to happen. I'm struggling for the words, but I know y'all know what I'm talking about because we see it trial after trial after trial. And it's like, yes, we're here because there's a defendant who's being tried for whatever the crime they're being accused of. But in the process, the victim's life is now open to everybody and being dragged through the mud. And it sucks. It sucks. James, I always find it ironic when the defund the police advocates are themselves victims of crime. That's
or they have the monies to hire private security.
By the way, I think there should be a weekly Beckham's Political Minute on this show.
No, I would start fires, and some that might not be able to be put out.
100%. There's a lot of liberties I give Mr. Beckham, aka not tonight. I'm very impressed.
Give me a hot minute. Yeah, let me have a new part of the show, Beckham's Political Minute.
I would get canceled so fast. So fast. But yeah, no, I let Beckham have the liberty of showing up 35, 40, 45 minutes late. But to give him even a minute for this, no. Hey, Kathy, good to see you.
Hi, Kathy.
K-Dog, age-old question. Are they bad seeds or developed through life circumstances? So nature versus nurture. I think it's the
I think
right
that's
combination of both.
I think that's only good for schools to discuss, not after the crime has been discussed.
But you're only discussing it after the crime has been discussed, because no one.
Yeah, well, it's yeah. I mean, you're discussing it like a game, like a post game. You know, like you know how it's
Monday morning quarterbacking.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, but I'm not. I'm talking about it when you're taking that into the seriousness and contesting which one's right. That's where I'm talking about which one's correct. That's what I'm talking about. This major shift now happening with crime.
With that being said, regardless of your stance on it, if there's a if it is nurture, then it's like, all right, we need to do a better job as a society, as parents, as family, as a community to prevent things like this. But if you're thinking, well, it's strictly nature, it was going to happen anyway. But I think it's the right combination of both.
Goldberger had a good upbringing, did he not?
He did. He had struggles, but his upbringing is from what we know.
You don't have struggles. Your body changes, Danny.
Well, he was an addict.
I'm talking about.
Remember?
Yeah. No, I'm talking about usually he's like no.
Beckham. Oh God. Hey Wolf, good to see you.
What's Wolf saying 100% to me that I'm always right? Thanks, Wolf. Appreciate it.
Oh my God, looks like his internet went out. Sorry, folks. You're horrible. Either say it doesn't matter. Most people have it rough, but don't take it out in society. K-Dog says no appeal will be heard. Wait, no appeal will be heard for a plea agreement. You mean hard for a plea agreement? Extremely rare. Right. Hey, Renee, good to see you. Hey, Shelly. Oh my gosh, I'm so jealous. I'm so jealous. 90% women, but women who read about how to kill and dispose of the bodies, at least true crime book clubs. Nope, that's fair. K-Dog, that's totally fair.
What is K-Dog not sold on?
I think he meant, and correct me if I'm wrong, in regards to the nature-nurture conversation. But if I'm wrong, let me know. Where was... Okay, Wolf says, those old asylums were awesome architecture. Today, they throw up some tin and some barbed wire. Total junk. Yeah, and Wolf, a lot of those old asylums are still, like the buildings are still standing, even though they're abandoned. There was one here, Danvers State, that was well known here.
You got YouTubers like have like 100,000 followers just because they go into these places.
Bando Bandits. Yeah. I had her on my show a few months ago. She explores like abandoned asylums, hospitals.
It's a thing, man.
All the such a range of places. So if you missed my interview with her, check it out. And then also give her channel a sub. Amazing. Yeah, Marie, she's absolutely wonderful. And yeah, that's what she does. And notice when she came on, I did ask if she would name some of the places, but she wouldn't, which makes sense because, you can get in trouble for being there.
Good point.
I want to make sure I don't miss anybody's comments. Look at Tex Watson. Oh, God. Oh, K-Dog's talk about the book club. Doesn't agree about the book club. Okay. Gotcha, K-Dog. We have a haunted infirmatory that you can spend the night in.
What?
Oh. K-Dog, have you done that?
Is that like can you just what's the cost, or what's the price tag on that?
Do you have a place, K-Dog, can you drop the link for that place in the chat? I'm very curious. Very curious.
There's a lot of places like that in Texas, man. You have to just search them out. But there's a lot of places in Texas like that. Old hospitals that close, the county mental ward thing. I mean, there's that to Wolf's point, were like really nice looking buildings back. I mean, and if you could restore them, you wouldn't really need much. I mean, just because the foundation, I mean, what they look like and the outside is really, really cool looking. You would just, of course, need the inside. But I mean, yeah, some of those places look really cool architecture.
Wolf was saying, Beckham, was saying 100 to Steven Stearns being a creep and Jen being partially responsible. Okay, gotcha. Yep. If it's the roofs and windows didn't let water in those old buildings would be even better. I know. Yeah. It's like they need to be demolished at this point, but there's such a history. Yeah. I hear you on that. So that, in regards to, that's one of those age-old nature nurture things.
I think I'm changing my. I think with age, I'm changing my outlook on that.
Well, Beckham, that's what happens when you turn 80. There's a lot of questions.
I know, man. Yeah, I think my outlook is changing as far as that goes. Probably because I'm more responsible.
That's the biggest load of shit I've ever heard. What, Shelly?
Wait, I'm sorry. Yeah, I'm sorry. Maturity levels is,
I once again beg to differ. Shelly, would you like to weigh in on that? All right. Well, that's a good segue. So, all right. This note is just a little bit of an update for Donna Adelson. So that is, if you do not recall that name offhand, is in regards to the murder of Professor Dan Markel. So Donna Adelson's attorneys have filed new arguments this week that certain evidence should not be allowed in her murder trial. So the evidence they want blocked is like wild. So they want the judge to block prosecutors from using Donna's attempt to leave the country as evidence of guilt. So the defense attorneys claim that Donna did not know there was a warrant for her arrest. Otherwise, she would have been free to travel. As a reminder, she was caught trying to travel with a one-way ticket out of the country. Her family one by one were being arrested for the murder of Dan Markel. Warrant for her.
Yikes.
Yeah. Come on.
Dude, we've stopped a couple subjects from leaving the United States the last 2 months. Personally,
sure. Yeah, there's been a lot. There's wild right now.
And one of them still has a third did manage to leave, but there's a warrant to where if they ever return back to the United States, whether it's a week from today, I think I told you this, a month from now or 10 years from now, they'll be arrested at the airport. It lasts for it's a lifer thing.
Yeah.
They can take the risk of trying to come back, but they won't make it in.
Well, they'll be arrested trying is the point.
Right. Yep.
So in regards to Donna, her trial is set to begin August 19th. I would not be surprised if it got pushed back with another delay, to be honest. But she's the last one that would be facing trial in regards to the murder of Dan Markel. So we'll stay tuned for that. This has been a long time coming to get Donna on the stand in her own trial for this murder. So I will definitely keep y'all posted on that because this is a case that I've been following for quite a while. So what do I want to go with next? All right, let's go with Lori Vallow.
Oh God. Finally,
I did not expect her to be in our notes this week. But nonetheless, here we are.
Can I ask a question?
Sure.
Are we done with this with her after tonight?
I hope so. I thought that was going to be your question.
Oh my God.
I hope so. But the
judge in Arizona was right 3 months. How long ago was that? 3 months ago? Wait, like April?
Yeah, she had another. Yeah.
When that judge was like, "All right, do you want to just take your punishment now?" And she was like, "Oh, we'll wait till the next trial, sir."
Yeah, she's unbelievable.
I will wait to the next trial, sir. Or however she answered back, and he was so like, cocky. He wanted to laugh. You saw his look. It's like he or not laugh, but like he just wanted to do like the old head shake, but he didn't. but he did it because he's got to be professional.
Right. You know who would have shaken their head and acted unprofessional? Judge Bev. Judge Bev. Yeah, absolutely. So again, I would not be surprised if like a month from now, 6 months from now, Lori Vallow's doing all these interviews because
God,
she loves the camera and people want to hear from her. She's a freaking train wreck. But nonetheless, all right, let's get this over with.
Lori Vallow. That was Renee's case. She was all over this one, right? That was her case.
The victim impacts. No, she's referring to Lori Vallow's.
Right.
Yeah, she's referring to Lori Vallow's. Hey, Zach, good to see you. So, Lori Vallow is the wife of who, Beckham?
Chad Daybell.
Thank you. So, yesterday, so this just happened yesterday, Lori Vallow Daybell was sentenced to life in prison on 2 murder conspiracy convictions in Arizona. As a reminder, for this trial, she decided to represent herself again in court because the first one went so well, right, Beckham?
Right.
So Lori says, quote, "If I were accountable for these crimes, I would acknowledge and let you know how sorry I was," end quote. So the judge, Justin Bresky, said that Lori has, quote, "shown blatant disregard for humanity," end quote, and that, quote, "you should never be released from prison," end quote. This next quote from the judge was, I think, spot on. Quote, "Eventually, the camera that you seek out, the media request, will lessen over time and you will fade into obscurity," end quote. I hope he's right. Family members in court, going off of what Renee said, did address Lori, and there was a lot of family members did not hold back. Thank you for not holding. She does not deserve for anybody to be reserved for anything she did. So family members in court said she was evil, greedy, a monster. Lori's brother, Jerry Vallow, said, quote, "She wrote her own make-believe story and she wrote it in blood. She tried to kill Brandon when he started looking like the next available dollar sign," end quote. Brandon Boudreaux, again, who the attempted murder was on him, says, quote, "No one deserves to live a life of fear and trauma," end quote. He did say he has forgiven Lori only so that he can be a better person. But he said he would not feel safe if she had her freedom. So there's a clip on Instagram or it's on YouTube. It's everywhere at this point. But when Lori was being escorted out, somebody in the courtroom yelled like "rotten hell," and she just kind of gave a smile and a wink back. Like, what a condescending ass Lori Vallow is. But yeah, this is just like
very arrogant, very.
Yeah, thinks she still thinks she's like the smartest person in the room. But
is she going to take her appeal rights?
She will certainly try. She will.
No, that means we got to listen to them talk about her.
We will. This will not be the end of her. I'm hoping it's the end of her for a while because everybody let this woman rot in a prison cell. She is a horrible, horrible human being. That anybody that death becomes anybody near her and Chad Daybell, death just is around them. It's horrible. It's absolutely horrible. In regards to the victim impact statements, again, like Renee had said, I'm just giving you the brief and a nutshell of what happened. Definitely, if you want to see the full videos, they are in court. You can find them on YouTube from court. You can read it. If maybe watching it is too painful, you can read about what each victim had said in their victim impact statements, different family members. So yeah, check that out. Okay, there's a few comments on this. I want to make sure I address those. Yeah, K-Dog says the victim impact statements were tough to watch. Beckham's Chad Daybell on a loop would be a good alarm tone. It would get my ass up in the morning because Lord knows I wouldn't want to hear that more than once. Good question, Beckham. Are we done with Lori yet? I sure hope so.
For a little while.
Hey, Capone, good to see you. Will reality ever hit that woman? K-Dog, I don't think so. I don't think so.
Good question, K-Dog.
She still, I mean, remember the interview she did where she, said that like her children and even Tammy Daybell, visited her and they're happy and they have jobs and purpose and no, what those children went through? No, I don't think so. Melanie should be charged. Yeah, that's an interesting one, Renee. That is an interesting one. Speaking of a horrible human being, hey, Capone. She's in her own reality. Very well said, Wolf. Absolutely. Her and Chad Daybell. They are the two of them. But more so her. More so her. What was that? Sorry, my cats were just making a noise. Yeah, so that's that for Lori. Let's all hope that she will not be on the docket for next week's notes. Let's at least have a month without her,
No, yeah, make it more than that.
I would love that. But we'll see. Where to go next? Let's do this. Let's get the Massachusetts ones out of the way, and then we'll get to Kohberger. So, excuse me. Trooper Proctor, back in the news this week. Excuse me. I will say, I mentioned this to Beckham. Thursday night, I went to the Annie Elise tour, podcaster, Seriously with Annie Elise. Love her. I met her last year at CrimeCon. She'll be there again this year at CrimeCon. She's doing a live tour for her podcast, and she came to my area, so I'm like, of course I'm going. And so when she did her show, and this is related, I promise, she talked about an unsolved case and got to interview the family. We got to hear that. She showed clips, and then she was like, at the end of that, she's like, let's talk a little bit about what's going on, right? We talked about Kohberger. And of course, she mentions Karen Reed because, we're all from here. And one of the things that she was saying was that her next deep dive will be Brian Walsh, which we do have notes for him this week. So stay tuned for that, because the law enforcement officers that worked Karen Reed's trial worked Brian Walsh's. And yeah, we talked about it before last week. Yeah, they didn't necessarily get the warrants that they were supposed to do some of the stuff they did. So a lot of it might get tossed. And now somebody who's very clearly guilty of murdering his wife might get off. So point being,
Jesus.
And we're going to get to Brian Walsh because he was in court again this week about that. So anyway, Trooper Proctor, when Annie Elise was just like, I just have to say, fuck Proctor, y'all. The room exploded. People were like, yes, fuck him. Because again, if you're thinking, oh, well, maybe he just didn't do the Karen Reed stuff right, but he's handled every other case right. We are learning that's not the case.
Dude,
and he went on camera in an interview.
I know.
We talked about this, saying, I handled the Karen Reed case the way I do every single case. All of law enforcement I worked with handled the case the way they do every other case. Well,
he could have said something in the, kind of saying like, look, there was a couple of things I could go back and redo. I would. It was just during certain circumstances that I went I did things a certain way, that type of thing. But when he just basically said, this is 100% how I do my work for everything I do, and then he left it at that with no room to kind of wiggle. There was no wiggle room with his statement as far as his work ethic and his work responsibility and all of that, right, has now really is being magnified 1,000% because of his other cases and how atrocious his work was with the Karen Reed case.
Yep. So let's get a little bit into that. So what we learned this week, former Massachusetts State Trooper Michael Proctor, he was supposed to be in court on Monday with a hearing for another murder case. He was subpoenaed to attend. Well, a little bit of a background for what this case is, because it was not for the Karen Read case. It was the 2021 case that Proctor investigated for a homicide in Milton, Massachusetts, for which Miles King and Brianna Gardner are facing charges. So attorneys for both King and Gardner on Monday in court accused Proctor and prosecutors of dragging their feet with this case. So Proctor didn't show. He did not show in court. He was subpoenaed to show. He did not show. He had his attorney go instead and say, well, yeah, he's on vacation. So Adam Lally, prosecutor Adam Lally from the Karen Read trial was there. And if you're thinking, oh, great, he would have handled that. Oh, no, it went so bad. And let's get into that. So the King's defense attorney said that Proctor was subpoenaed to attend the hearing, but did not show, and very much expressed frustration over his absence. Quote, apparently he thinks he's above the law. He was served in hand. He was told to be here this morning. Instead, his attorney showed up and said he left on vacation on Saturday. The vacation, I understand, was planned a year before, end quote. So again, Adam Lally was there and he testified. And he said that, so Adam Lally, who's, again, the prosecutor who, will work alongside the police and detectives to get the information they need to try these cases, Lally is saying he repeatedly requested search warrant materials from Proctor for the King and Gardner case. But Proctor did not hand them over. Quote, so King's attorney responded, quote, did you ever have another case other than Mr. King's and Miss Gardner's case where a state trooper didn't give you search warrants that you'd been asking for since the indictment, end quote. Lally responds, quote, not that I recall, no, end quote. So the defense attorneys in not just the Brian Walsh case, not just these cases, but in so many others that Trooper Proctor handled, are trying to obtain Trooper Proctor's personal emails and text messages. They want to see if he wrote insulting things or confidential information.
Is there a number on that? Is there a number on how many are being looked into?
I do not have a number, no.
God, but even one is bad. I mean,
right.
Just right. One is bad.
Because we have trials that are still pending to start that Trooper Proctor worked. There are trials of people who were convicted, who their attorneys are now looking at this saying, well, wait a minute. So the thing with those, Beckham, going off of the electronic records from Proctor. So last week, a group of defense attorneys, that was so Boston, asked the courts to stop the destruction of Proctor's electronic records. So a federal court had mandated the destruction of the records 30 days after the conclusion of Karen Read's case. But attorneys representing their defendants who now want all of this looked at for their clients in other cases are arguing that they only learned about this imminent deadline on Thursday. So in court on Friday, the district attorney's office promised not to destroy the materials for at least one more week while they seek more guidance from federal officials. So the hearing in the King and Gardner case is expected to resume on August 5th when Proctor's attorney said he will be there. This will be a live hearing, so we will be able to watch this.
That's in like a couple of weeks, right? That's
August 5th.
Yeah.
So, yes. So let's take a step back and think about this. The prosecution who works alongside these state troopers, he himself is not even getting the information he's requesting on search warrants for these defendants. Proctor's not even giving it to him. So, of course, he then can't give it over to the defense, and the defense is entitled to these. So here the defense is saying, wait a minute, you're trying to bring my clients forward on this. You don't even have all these warrants that you did to search, X, Y, and Z. And even Lally's just like, yeah, this typically doesn't happen.
No.
What the hell?
I'm telling you, man, this could be big time. This could back like.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
Do you
PJ, big royal mess.
what do you how many? Okay, is it possible to ask you how many you think could be out there like this? That there people are they're making moves on it.
Well, we heard about it even during the Karen Reed
I know,
trial.
but like officially making those,
I don't have stats. I
God, I
don't have
want to know if any
stats.
who's making these types of moves now, on what case and what cases. That well, I mean, I guess we would need a list of his cases to know whether kind of like
Well, we're going to get into the next one in a minute. Brian Walsh, we're going to
right.
update on that. K-Dog, this might allow dangerous people to go free. 100%.
Oh yeah, man, like legitimate that committed crimes for
Like
sure.
Brian Walsh, who there's a good chance what they found might get tossed because Mass State Police did not do what they got the warrant after the fact. Are you like you can't just go and do whatever you want? How long has this been sliding? And again, Beckham, we've said this once, we've said this
And
5 times.
yeah, and
You know what I'm going to say? Trooper Proctor went on camera in an interview saying, I handled
know
this the way I did every other
he could have
case I
he
worked.
could have given he had the ability to give some wiggle room there for hey it's for error maybe and just I don't know man but he didn't do that so
No,
and it's on tape.
it's on tape. People after Danny After Dark ends, find it. It's on YouTube. It's everywhere.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. So
All you gotta type on any engine, any search engine, whether it's Google, Yahoo, YouTube, Trooper Proctor interview. It's gonna be right in your face.
Yep. Horrible, absolutely horrible. To go back to your original question, Beckham, I would not be surprised if there are people who are in jail now for crimes that they were found guilty of, and we see what happened with Karen Reed. We're now seeing what's going to be happening with Brian Walsh, with King and Gardner.
I would want to know. I would be interesting. Of course, my work experience is a little bit different. Your detective friend that you've interviewed.
Oh, Travis.
Travis. I
From
would
New
want
York,
to
yes.
know his opinion on that. I know it probably gets like he's retired and he's already left that life, but
And New York has different.
yeah, but I
rules.
would still just from the logistics part of it, from a detective, on site point of view. That's it.
Mhm.
You know what I mean?
Well,
Because
next time.
it takes experience to kind of really talk about something like that, kind of thing, on that type of situation. So particular situation. It would just be interesting. That's all.
Oh, absolutely. So next time he comes live on the show, why don't you come in the chat and ask? I know you typically don't wander over to this channel unless you're on camera.
That's right. No, I'm just playing.
No,
No,
you're
I
not
always.
playing. You are
I'm
right.
like hello, and then
And then you go back to whatever else you were doing, watching Star
Danny,
Wars.
I support your other stuff in every extension of my being, any capacity I can give you, I do it.
That's the biggest crock of shit I've ever heard.
Whatever.
That's the biggest crock of shit I ever heard.
Even James Watson defends me on that.
James Watson is here
Who has the number one little thing on their name this week?
James Watson is here.
Who has the number one? Capone is late. He has a number 2 crown. That's crazy.
You are so horrible. You are such a shit starter. Defends him on that.
Thank you, James. That's right.
Oh, God. So, all right. Going off of the King and Gardner case. So, Brian Walsh, right? We've talked about him before. Again, if you are not familiar, he's the man who has been charged and he's been held in prison this whole time.
It's been charged with not anymore. Just playing.
It's so frustrating. It's so frustrating. For the disappearance of his wife, Anna Walsh.
I know. Yeah.
Her body has not been found. It will not be found. We know it will not be found at this point. And just to give a quick recap, he did all these searches on his 6-year-old son's iPad. Go through the list. We've gone through it here multiple times. If you're not familiar, go give a reread. It's worth it. It's just like, wow. Tell us you're guilty while telling us you're guilty. So anyway, hey Kane, good to see you. Hope you're doing well.
Hey, with Travis, I wouldn't want to start not an East Coast West Coast thing, but a New York City Boston thing.
An East Coast battle. Hey Chris James, good to see you. No, glad you're here.
Oh, what's up, Chris? Well.
So on Thursday, so just a couple days ago, Brian Walsh was in court. His lawyers asked a judge to dismiss the murder case against him, stating that the prosecutors failed to show sufficient evidence that Brian committed first-degree murder in the disappearance of his wife, Anna. As a reminder, several weeks ago, they were in court trying to get the iPad searches and then some other things tossed because, again, state troopers who worked the case all did the Karen Reed case. Trooper Michael Proctor, Trooper Yuri Buchanan, Nicholas Garino. They searched, they went beyond the scope of what they were supposed to search without a warrant. They got the warrant after the fact, which is a big deal. And in the motion for the defense's trying to dismiss this, the defense is alleging that information presented to the grand jurors who indicted Brian Walsh in 2023 wasn't enough to establish, quote, premeditation, extreme atrocity and cruelty, felony murder, or malice, end quote. They also went on to say, quote, there's nothing in the grand jury exhibits that has any statement, any conduct that can be attributed to Mr. Walsh that he planned to harm Mrs. Walsh. Nothing at all, end quote. I disagree with that. But in regards to the possible motives, obviously we are aware of Anna Walsh's affair as well as the multi-million-dollar life insurance policy that Brian had on her. However, the defense is trying to say, quote, motive evidence is not premeditation and motive evidence is not malice, end quote. Lastly, they went on to say, quote, the case law also makes clear that it's not just someone says, okay, I'm going to kill somebody. There has to be cool reflection. There has to be a thought, and then it has to be followed by action. They have no evidence of that, end quote. So the judge, and I'm probably going to butcher the last name, Diane Frenier, stated that Brian told police that he had access to his wife's messages, and that evidence also indicated he searched the name of his wife's affair partner several times in late December 2022. The judge also pointed out that Brian's federal art fraud case added further strain to the couple's relationship. We have talked about that before. Again, go back and check that out if you're not familiar. So the judge says, quote, it's clear that there was sufficient evidence before the grand jury that this marriage was in distress over the issues relating to his then pending federal sentence and the implications of their life and where the children lived, end quote. The judge went on to say, quote, to me, you're seeking to limit the Commonwealth regarding the theories it may pursue at trial based on your perceived failing of proof in the grand jury. It seems to me that it's not a dismissal of the indictment for first-degree murder. It's a motion to limit to say that the Commonwealth can't have that evidence on trial, end quote. That is, the judge said it very simply. They're like, let's just call it like it is. You're just trying to not have the evidence be allowed there. The prosecution stated that the later internet searches, again, we've talked about this, for methods of disposing of a body.
And it's funny how people think that they can just get away with these searches.
Get rid of the iPad. Like people, okay, I'm not trying to tell people how to get away with a crime. Get rid of it. Get rid of it. Like, why would I do X, Y, and Z searches on my laptop and then think, oh, they're not going to find it? Just get rid of it. And I get it. Technology is expensive. Devices are expensive.
It depends if, and also, if you're signed on to a certain account, it's there. It ain't
very true.
That ain't going away. But people don't think about the littlest things.
Yeah. And the thing with Brian Walsh is he's one of those guys that thinks he's the smartest guy in the room. So there's that.
They seem to always do. Koberger, Walsh, Vallow, or what's her, Lori?
Yeah. What's her name? See, you've tried to just like get her out.
Yeah.
Wolf. Wow, I hadn't heard anything about the Brian Wolf. Then you have not been listening to all the True Crime and Chills. Wasn't he the face of like solving missing persons or something. So there was this, when his wife Anna went missing, he did not report her missing. The coworkers in Washington, D.C. did. She would fly from Boston to Washington for work. And yeah, just as I was about to touch upon, there was all these searches on his 6-year-old son's iPad, like probably 20 searches about like how to dispose of a body, how to clean it. Like it was so obvious, so obvious. So the prosecution is claiming that these searches that he did show the defendant's awareness that this was indeed a crime and not sort of accidental person dying in a home. So we also have on camera footage him going to Home Depot and buying over like $500 in cleaning products. He paid in cash, but again, you're on video, and he wore like this little tiny mask, but like you can clearly see it's him. Like again, if you're gonna do like, oh God, stay stupid. So the prosecution said, quote, I would suggest here the defendant's activities of looking up how to clean up a crime scene, his activities of purchasing large quantities of cleaning supplies in various stores, and certainly going to different dumpsters and disposing of. One could infer the victim's body in her possession, certainly, which a reminder, some of her possessions were found in his mother's Swampscott condo dumpster, should be considered as consciousness of guilt, but also as evidence of intent and motive, end quote. So the judge is taking all of this under advisement. She has yet to rule on another defense motion to suppress, again, those alleged Google searches, which, for example, one of them, how long before a body starts to smell? Can you be charged with murder without a body? So Brian is set to return back to court for another hearing August 1st, so that's just next week, and his trial is scheduled to begin on October 20th. So we'll keep you posted on that. The Liz has been like, she is like, I'm into this case. She's really into studying this case.
Yeah.
So
yeah,
she'll be on for that, I assure you, when this trial begins. But there's a good chance those Google searches can get tossed because the state troopers did not do what they were supposed to do.
And then that's going to make it more difficult because you're going to have interference into this, into everything, jury interference, the thought process interference, the fact that, oh, this other guy, we know what he did over there. Now we have to, how can you get rid of everything? You can't. It's already in people's thought processes.
Yeah.
That's going to be difficult to do. And it's gonna, I don't know, man. There's a lot that can completely backfire on this case.
I will say this case is not as well known as, say, the Karen Reed case. So it's possible that they could find a jury who is not familiar.
Man, maybe, but still though.
No, I agree with you. But the chances of them finding people who aren't familiar are better here than it would have been, say, for Karen Reed.
Oh, yes, of course. Yes, I would. Yeah, of course.
And I mean, those Google searches are damning.
I know, but then you can't.
There's a lot of other evidence.
Sure.
But that's like really.
Yeah, but how was that evidence gathered?
I mean, we've come so far since this murder that we all know happened occurred, and we're just kind of learning now, like in last several months, 2 months, about, hey, wait a minute, the state troopers didn't get a warrant for this, they didn't do this. So to go off back on what you were just saying, is it possible that a month from now we're going to learn something else that they did in this? They didn't follow procedure. It's possible. It would not shock me at this point. It's so frustrating. It is so frustrating. So keep y'all posted on this. But I personally, just to jump back a second, I mean, it's all connected, but just to jump back to the King and Gardner case. Yeah. So when Proctor is in court on August 5th, yeah, I'm looking forward to that. Beckham, you going to be watching that or putting that on the background here? And
maybe you got to let me know.
Yeah.
I'm glad you got me into the Reed thing. That was crazy, man. That That was entertainment at its best.
And it's so sad.
It's so sad. And it's bad to say it. It's bad because a police officer was murdered. But it really became more of an entertainment value with a sprinkle of criminal, like the criminal element and true crime. It was just a big pot of a bunch of abundance of showcase.
Mm-hmm.
But the majority of the ingredient ended up being,
And to be fair, you're not from here. You're from Texas. So you're like an outsider looking in at how law enforcement
big time. Yeah.
So yeah, you absolutely have the right to be like, what? I mean, we have the right here still to be like, what the hell, the way this was conducted, but you definitely
again now from the work processing outside of it and experience there, initially I was blown away and shocked at everything.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And it's
like,
just
how does this guy even have?
cases.
Back then, it was like, how does this guy even have a job? And then, of course, finally he got what he deserved. But still, the other people that should have been brought in with him like that at with that magnitude haven't yet. I don't know if anything's gonna ever happen.
No.
But that's it's like I said, it's just a.
Yeah, no, it won't.
It's a sad story, man.
K-Dog, Beckham's laying on the adjectives and metaphors. I just said
what did you say? Did you make up a word, Danny? Did you make up a word?
No, I mispronounced it. I didn't make it up. I mispronounced it, which is what I'm notorious for. God. So, all right, folks, let's get to what everybody is talking about. Oh, actually, wait. No. I lied. One more case before Koberger. So Corey Novak, shout out to Corey Novak. Thank you. Yeah, y'all could have just let me get away with it, but you are all so quick and much appreciated, all of you. And I say that sarcastically. Metaphoric intrudas. So Corey Novak sent me this update. So Eaton Putz, we talked about this case back when Travis.
I'm sorry, I had to laugh at his name.
Podcast was on.
I had to laugh at his name.
Novak. So we just talked about this with Travis. So
what's his name?
Eaton Putz was the 6-year-old victim here. So what happened this week was a federal appeals court overturned a guilty verdict for Pedro Hernandez, who was the man convicted in the 1979 killing of 6-year-old Eaton Putz in New York City. Quick reminder, in 2017, Pedro Hernandez was convicted of killing Eaton and sentenced to 25 years to life behind bars. This conviction was 5 years after he confessed to police of what happened to Eaton. He stated that he lured the little boy into the basement of a convenience store that he worked at using soda as the ruse to get him in. Eaton was then choked and his body was stuffed into a plastic garbage bag that was hidden inside a box and then taken out with the trash, which is horrific against a child. Horrific. So if you're saying, well, wait a minute, he admitted to all of this. Well, let's jump back to this week. A federal appeals court overturned the conviction because of how the trial judge handled a note from the jury during Pedro's second trial, because his first trial resulted in a mistrial, so he had a second trial. So that note, so the appeals court found that the trial judge gave, quote, clearly wrong, end quote, and, quote, manifestly prejudicial, end quote, instructions to the jury in response to a question about the suspect's confessions to police. Specifically, during jury deliberations, the jury asked the judge whether if it deemed invalid a confession Pedro made before being advised of his Miranda rights to remain silent, that it must also disregard a subsequent confession after those warnings were given. So they wanted to know that. The judge responded by telling the jury no. Mm-hmm. Well, the appeals court now said That was not the answer that the judge should have given. So therefore, the appeals court decision overturns the guilty conviction. This is wild. Also, the court ordered Pedro to be released unless the state gives him a new trial within a reasonable period to be set by the lower court judge. So the Manhattan District Attorney's Office said it is reviewing the appeals court decision. Well, yeah, you can review it, but at the end of the day, his conviction's overturned. And he brutally admitted to murdering a 6-year-old child. I have yet to message Travis and say, we just talked about this. Like, what do you think? Like, because this case is local to him and where he grew up. So, yeah, I have been meaning to message him. I mean, we've messaged about other things because he's actually at a horror convention this weekend in New Hampshire. And yeah, I should have been like, hey.
What's that convention like?
The Monster Expo.
Oh man, I bet that's cool.
I bet it is cool.
I need to start going to these things.
Yeah, he's posted some pictures on Instagram of the convention. It's pretty cool.
Wow.
It's pretty cool.
Where's this one? Oh, do you know where this one's at? The location?
It's in New Hampshire. I forget where. But I mean, that's close.
That'd be interesting because that's under. Yeah, man, yeah. Danny. You just still don't know. We're still waiting to find out where next year's date location.
CrimeCon 2026.
Yep.
Yeah, which CrimeCon 2025 still has not occurred. It will be in September in Denver. Stay tuned for that. But Travis will be there. Travis will be at CrimeCon this year. But yeah, I definitely want to get his opinion on this. And yes, thank you again to Corey Novak for sending me this information that, yeah, the federal appeals court overturned it. Yeah, Corey was like, I know you and Travis just talked about this. Like, here, this just happened. Wild. Horrible. I can't even imagine the family now. What is the victim's family has to go through here in this. Yeah, look at Zach saying guilty. Yeah, PJ looks.
You know where I think he should go, man.
Beckham, Vegas cannot handle you.
No, dude, no. Oh my God, I don't know, man. Yeah. I don't know. I would bring. If it's in Vegas, I could bring the whole crew.
Oh God, Lord help Vegas if you go back with your crew. I want to meet every one of your crew individually.
Dude, if I brought the crew back, it would the house would burn.
I think they would end up liking me more than you and being like, Beckham, kick it to the side. We're gonna hang out with Danny. Yeah, for sure. Hey, John,
I didn't even know, dude. The last time I was there. One of the last times I was there, I forgot we were at the pool party, and David Guida was playing right next to us, and I had no idea.
Streets of Bakersfield, it's Freckle Joy. Hi, Joy. Good to see you. Long time no see. I hope you're doing well. Thank you for saying that because I'm like, who is Streets of Bakersfield? You have a wrench. Good to see you. I hope you're doing well. And yeah, greetings from Minnesota. Thank you, John, for being here.
I bet. Hey, I wonder if anybody. We were talking about this earlier today. Me and the core group. I was like, I tell people that we once all stayed at this one hotel, and nobody believes me because they don't think it existed. And I think it's been gone too long now. But we stayed. One of the times we went a long time ago. One of the first times we went. We stayed at the Hooters Hotel and Casino.
Yeah, of course you would.
And people were like, no. I'm like, yes. And they actually had a full functioning Hooters restaurant downstairs in the lobby when you walked in.
They would have to.
It was, dude, I actually, and then like, I partied. What's even funnier is that you see, Capone. No, like Capone. This was actually a pretty cool evening. I know, Danny, you want me to tell the Vegas story sometime. So here's one real quick. So after a UFC event, we knew two singers from the ladies from the show from the Luxor. We were really good friends with them, so they always hooked us up and stuff. So after the UFC fight, we hung out with them and some few people, and they brought when I might have told this before, but and they chose for whatever reason they chose Hooters to go that night afterwards. So we ended up going to the actual Hooters in the Hooters hotel, and it was funny because the guys from Thunder Down Under showed up. I think I've told you this story before. I think I've told this one before, but they showed up. They showed up 2 or 3 women deep each, man. Like it was crazy. Those guys are not the other ones. The Chippendales were the ones that were like swung the other way, but the guys from Thunder Down Under were straight or whatever. But they showed up with 2 or 3 girls like on deep each, and that was a fun night. I had one guy. I think he was from like Europe somewhere. He was one of the dancers, and he bought me a shot with him and his. He had like 2 girls. He's like, "Oh, I'm gonna buy you a shot," and we drank a whole shot. But man, I barely made my flight. I did not sleep that night. We partied until like the morning, and then I went to the airport from there. It was crazy. That was a fun night.
Yeah.
So I partied with the guys from Thunder Down Under with a bunch of girls and everything. It was pretty cool.
Wow. What a story, Beckham. What a story. Hello, Rob. Welcome. Glad you're here. So, Rob, I'm so sorry that you had to come in. Please don't judge.
Oh, hey, dog. That's
don't
funny.
Judge this channel based on that conversation, Beckham. That story. Please.
No, that's a safe story. It wasn't anything bad on that one.
Yeah. And then there's like the after part of that you're like, oh, I'll tell you off air.
No, we didn't leave. We partied all that there, and then I literally left there to the airport. Just a flight.
With a bunch of regret. So, all right. Well, I don't know how we transition off of Beckham in Vegas, but you know what? Let's just do it.
Oh, we're talking about CrimeCon 26, and you're
assuming it's in Vegas.
Well, I'm just saying if it's in Vegas, I'm like, you're like, well, I don't know. You were saying something, and I'm like, well, I could bring the crew.
Okay, all right. Please do, so that I can become better with your crew than you would. So yeah, they'll be like, yeah, we love Danny. Beckham, get the hell out of here. All right, folks, let's get to it. Everybody's been talking about this. So, I mean, a million different podcasters, YouTubers, content creators, everybody's talking about it. So there's a wealth of opinion that from different perspectives, from law enforcement, attorneys, from, just other, YouTubers, whoever, where you want to get an opinion of what happened this week in regards to the Bryan Kohberger sentencing. So
we're going to hit that now.
We're going to hit that now. It's the last thing of the night. And I think it deserves its moment. And again, I was kind of debating whether
I was surprised I caught it live. I was able to catch it live. Too. I was shocked. It just worked out for me this week that way.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I was like, Beckham, are you hearing this?
I was like, yeah, I'm actually watching it live.
So as we knew, Kohberger his defense attorneys approached the prosecution with a plea deal. And this week was sentencing, where there was also victim impact statements. And the survivors of the 2 other women that were in the house spoke. All the victims' families spoke, except the Chapin family. The Chapin family, so Ethan's family, was not in attendance. And good for them. They're, from what word is that they were just like, we're not giving Kohberger 1 ounce of our son in our focus. And you know what? Good for them, because fuck Bryan Kohberger, to be perfectly honest. So let's step back. So it started out where the families got to each speak about their loved one. And I would highly suggest everybody go back, and you can either rewatch it or you can find the written transcript of it online if watching it is too painful, because it's extremely emotional. It's extremely emotional. So Beckham, let's start with the survivors from the house. So Bethany Funk and Dylan Mortensen. So Bethany, she talked about, because there's been a lot of talk, and even from y'all in the chat, of where were these two other roommates when this happened? They waited so long to call 911, and they got to address not only Koberger in the court with this, but kind of the public as well. So what Bethany Funk said was that she had a toothache and had called her dad early that morning. He told her to take Tylenol, so she did and went back to bed. So what she said in court was, quote, "I was still out of it and still didn't know what happened. If I had known, I, of course, would have called 911 right away. I still carry so much regret and guilt for not knowing what happened and not calling right away, even though I understand it wouldn't have changed anything," end quote. Dylan Mortensen, part of her testimony, her victim impact testimony statement was, quote, "He didn't just take them from the world, he took them from me, my friends, my people who felt like my home, the people I looked up to and adored more than anyone. He took away my ability to trust the world around me. What he did shattered me in places I didn't know could break," end quote. In both of the surviving victims, so Dylan and Bethany, it was very emotional, and they both said the trauma that they still have from this, that they are absolutely terrified. They've been getting a lot of harassment where they've been going, but they're just so scared now. Their whole world is shaken, and I can't sleep alone. Sleeping in my parents' bed for over a year because I had to because is somebody going to break in? Is someone going to, just the trauma and the survivor's guilt of each of them saying, why am I still here? And they died. It shouldn't have been them. It should have been me. Beckham, what was your thoughts on Dylan and Bethany's statements?
Well, I mean, we can't. There's always been question about them, right? And I'm still open to what. Can you hear me?
Yeah.
Okay. I'm still open. I wanted, when Koberger went with the whole plea deal and everything, and stop a lot of the case in its tracks from going forward, a lot of the information coming out, it just kind of we have to just go to what everybody's saying and what their responses are. I don't know. I do feel bad for them, but I still wonder what really transpired that evening, just because of everything just stopped. I know some documents have come out the last couple of days about the victims. Well, I'm pretty sure you might cover that here in a second. If you don't, I'll bring it back up at the end.
Yeah, we're gonna talk about it.
But I definitely was. I don't know. I mean, we have to just go to what, like I said, because of the plea deal and everything. The whole case just stopped. He took the guilty and the life, the sentencing. So we're never gonna have a clear picture of what transpired that people wanted to get or tried to get through the actual testimonies and the entire case timeline, but we're not going to get that. So we just gonna have to go with what we have and what their statements are. So she said she took medicine, knocked her out all day. Well, we have to we gotta go with what she said.
Yeah.
But I already told you about the deep dive I did. We know what kind of house that was.
Yeah.
I don't, I'm still speculative, but
You mean skeptical?
Skeptical, yeah. Sorry.
All your guys' comments in the chat, Hey, Royce, I don't believe they knew what happened. The police had told them if they kept getting calls at the house, they'd be contacting schools. So that would make them hesitate to call. Wolf says, well said, Beckham. So, yeah, I know and I feel like at the end of the day, Bethany and Dylan Mortensen's, statements for their victim impact statements kind of do with it what you will. I know a lot of people still have questions. At the end of the day, this is what they've addressed. And like Beckham said, this take it or leave it. It is what it is.
I don't know anybody that takes Tylenol and gets put out by Tylenol, but I'm just
at this point. Well, in another, so who just said it in the chat? Yeah, and they tore down the house. So again, both the prosecution and the defense had agreed to that. I was really nervous about that. Beckham, we've been talking about that for a long time.
And I'm telling you, the people that were associated by association, I'm just going to say it, there's a major drug pipeline through there. But I can't go any further because, of course, this case got stopped in its tracks when that guy said, I'm guilty.
Well, part of what came out was that the defense was going to try to put the blame on 4 of the roommate's friends, that they were the ones that did it. And the judge completely stopped that and was like,
well, you can't see that was right. And that strategy was probably error based because you have DNA there of the subject.
Koberger.
I get it that there was other DNA found, and that I still cannot get away from the DNA that was found on one of the victim's fingernails in a defense mode that did not belong to him. It belonged to somebody else. So I can't get over. I'm sorry, I can't get over that.
That's your opinion.
And we can talk about different angles, different theories, all this, but we can't now let it rest. The case has rested. And you asked me what I thought. We got to go with what they're saying because there's nothing else we could do, and there's no other way around it. So
yeah,
I still can't get over though some of the evidence. Sorry, but I can't.
Do not apologize. That's your opinion. You're absolutely entitled to it. And you're not the only one that still has lingering questions from either the evidence perspective or the roommates.
Right.
And in the end, what we have for answers is what we have.
And I think there was a little bit of all the parents don't get along in this.
They don't all agree.
They don't all agree with a lot of stuff.
But if you think about it, if you had only one victim's family, even within that dynamic, there might be different opinions on should he get death, should he not? And now you're talking about 4 different victims' families all in the same case. I'm not surprised. That's just human nature that not everybody would agree. Where was it? They didn't know the murder had taken place that night, is what the roommates were saying. So
okay. I mean,
at the end of the day, we got the statements that we did from them.
That's their statements. You got to go with
They were very emotional, giving their statements. So once again, are you just copying and pasting that, Wolf? I'm just kidding. So
you got to know when to hold them, know when to fold them.
All right, calm down. In regards to, just to wrap up the statement I made about, so the defense was going to specifically name 4 of the victim's friends to pin the murders on, and the judge halted it. With that being said, the judge didn't even, the names of those 4 individuals are not being made public. I mean, to drag them in and to be like, yeah, you're going to be would have been horrific. Are people going to find out who those names are and publish them? Absolutely, because that's unfortunately what society does. But the judge put a halt to that. It was like, you're not even saying the names of those 4 people. So just keep that in mind. So again, there was every single family member that testified on the stand or at the podium to give their victim impact statements. Extremely emotional. A lot of different types of emotion that happened in their statements. And everybody did, I felt, justice to themselves in saying what they felt and needed to say for them to get that off their chest. There's no closure. There's none of that. These families are going to be in living hell for the rest of their lives because their loved one is gone. And they had their moment to address Koberger, look him right in the eye and say what they had to say. So I'm beyond respectful for them for doing that. Again, check out and listen to each person's, what they said for their statement if you wish. A few things that stuck out to me. One, why are you laughing? Right, that's the worst time for you to laugh right now, Beckham.
I'm sorry, I'm looking at James's comment. That's all. I'm sorry.
I see the chat too, but Beckham, that was like the worst time for you to laugh.
Sorry.
So for people who are watching this on replay and not watching the live chat, being like, what the hell is wrong with Beckham? He's just being immature and laughing at a comment. So that. Quickly, Wolf says, I can't get past the Linda Lane footage that night. The guy pulls up in Parks, rocks a gun, heads toward the house, then yells his name out. Wasn't BK's name.
Wolf, there's a lot of like evidence, man, that just kind of is lingering still, and there's no what else there. It wasn't addressed, and it's like, oh,
it's not going to be. It's done.
It's done, right?
Well, Wolf, like going off.
I get you, Wolf. Just like the DNA and the defensive, movement by one of the victims, how she got blood in her fingernails.
No, it was DNA evidence.
DNA in her fingernails, big right? Difference, so I mean, that's just in a defensive capacity.
So one of the statements that really stuck out to me was Ben Mogan, Maddie Mogan's father, that said she was much more than his only child. He described that he had struggled with addiction and substance use for quite a while, and how his daughter Maddie helped him. He said, quote, she was the only great thing I ever really did, and the only thing I was ever really proud of, end quote. And he had a card that she had sent him. I believe it was for Father's Day. And he was like, this is the last card that she ever sent me. And she just talks about like what she wants to, like, next time I visit, let's do this, and how proud I am of you. It was so heartbreaking to hear him speak about Maddie. In regards to Kaylee Gonzalez's mom, she had made she gave her victim impact statement, and then also said at the very end that her other daughter, her youngest daughter, and I thought this was very, again, shot at Koberger, said, my youngest daughter wanted to say this: you may have received A's in criminal justice, but you'll be getting big D's in prison. I was like, wow, okay. Through all of this, Koberger, and
I think I missed that one.
Oh, yeah. Where is it? Wolf, I think you said it earlier.
He's going to be protected in there.
I don't think so. I don't know. So.
I think he's going to be kept away from people. But
no, it wasn't Wolf. It was Renee. His body language was intense. He
barely moved.
And I sent it to Beckham. He was just.
Well, somebody called him an alien. One of the girls that was talking to him said, "You're just like an alien. You don't," or maybe that wasn't it wasn't an interview. I'm sorry.
I was about to say.
I think it was the dark-haired girl, the sister.
Olivia.
She's been making her progression through all these media outlets.
Mm-hmm.
She said, "Yeah, he was like an alien. He must have been like. I just felt like he was like an alien. He was just taken. It's not. He wasn't human. He was like an alien. He just didn't ever show no like." He just didn't show no emotion or nothing. Even if a killer emotion, like, oh yeah, like anything. Yeah. She just said that he was like, she doesn't think he's human. She thinks he's an alien. Like literally.
Yeah. So Wolf, I like the victim's statements, especially Kaylee's sister Olivia. Yeah, Olivia. So going off of what Beckham was just saying, so Olivia is like every family member's statement was impactful. Let's just say that first and foremost. Everybody's hit in a different way. Some people were angry. You're going to hell. I forgive you. because I need to move forward, or, God says this, and what, like, there was a wider range, right? And then Olivia, that no one saw that coming. And it was so impactful. I texted you back and I'm like, oh my God, did you just hear that? I have listened to that probably like 20 times at least. I kept going back and re-listening because it was so powerful. And if you guys have not heard this, at least, I mean, go back and listen to everybody's, but go back and listen to hers. She takes all of his own questions from his, he studied criminal justice, and a lot of the questions that he would ask the offenders and serial killers that he would interview for his program, she took his own questions and asked them to him. She, like, right away from the beginning was like, I'm not going to shed a tear over you, because that's not what my sisters, Kaylee and Maddie, would have wanted. She was just, ripped him to shreds just by asking him questions. Like, he just sat there like, whatever, at the end of the day, he's going to his cell, and like, knowing she tore him apart and just made, like, she was just like, you're basic, you're nothing. Don't think because now people are saying your name out loud that you're something. Like, you are nothing.
Yeah.
You did an IQ test online back in whatever year, and you think you're smart. You left the knife sheath. Like, all of these, and she phrased everything in a question format. And at the very, very end, she said, quote, if you hadn't attacked them in their sleep in the middle of the night like a pedophile, Kaylee would have kicked your fucking ass. And the courtroom cheered. It cheered, like, people in the other victims' families cheered. It was so powerful. So powerful.
It was, yeah, and it was, and I already told you, man. I mean, he DNA was there. He took part in it. You can't get away from that.
Mm-hmm.
I wish, like I said, and now my like I used to be indifferent about the whole sentencing part of it, but a lot of the stuff was really, really impactful. And he really is not getting what he deserves.
Yeah,
So
because
Rob,
I believe he's gonna be. I mean, I think he's gonna be, allowed to interview, allowed to documentary type of thing. That's what I've heard the last couple of weeks. Again, I don't think he deserves it. You know what
I
I
would
think.
100% agree with you.
You know what I think he should happen to him based on my beginning of the show statements, but
Yep.
we'll see.
Yeah, it's while I'm trying to phrase what I want to say, Wolf says Olivia's voice was so on point. She could do audiobooks or something. I was impressed. Wolf, everybody was beyond impressed with Olivia. I mean, she just eviscerated him, and it was the best thing to see and to watch. And again, he just sat there stone cold, but you knew she gutted him. I don't know if she walked away from that realizing how this is a very worldwide known case, the Idaho murders, how everybody responded to take away what she did. I mean, I just walked away from that thinking Olivia's going to change the world. She could be and will be such a advocate.
As much as he gets to do it from his side of it, he's allowed to. If he gets allowed to do the interviews, documentaries, whatever. I hope she rides that wave of what you're just talking about. I really hope. I don't know if she's still in school or what, or
she was the big sister. So
yeah, so I don't know what her background is or what she's leaning to doing. But as much as he gets to do it from that side, I hope that she does it from this other side and it becomes, like you said, a big advocate of God, of
For
justice.
victims of this, and
Of
just
justice.
like,
I was gonna say
we're turning the tables.
yeah, of justice. That's what I said. Yeah.
Yeah.
And like I said, man, I'm telling you, that goes to my point right off the bat of this show. There's a fast movement right now happening, and I know, like I said, I don't know how people feel about it, how it's going, but there's a huge movement. It's really coming fast, and it might be too fast to stop. But this whole leniency on crime that's happened for the last 30, 40 years is about to stop, and it's gonna really go the other way. Because I don't think you can have it both ways.
No, you can't have it both ways.
I don't think we can. We've tried it. We've tried it the maximum beginning of the 20th century. We let it relax on the last 50 years. And then now we're here. And now it's really starting to, like I said, when it affects you or affects somebody close to you, you have a change of heart and you have a change of mind. You do. And when you have these little kids getting murdered and raped and this and that, or, you can consider these young adults, same thing happened to them. They're young adults. They couldn't protect themselves. They didn't even have a fighting chance. Things are changing and it's coming at you hard and fast, and you're not going to be able to stop it. And whether you like it or not.
Oh, well said. Absolutely. Carol Wayman, hi Carol, said I liked that she called him a wannabe, which summed him up well. Absolutely, Carol. K-Dog, men fear that girl.
Strong men don't.
Exactly.
I mean, like I'm just
good men will
I'm
not.
like, let her have her moment. Let her excel. I hope she excels. I hope she has the best life, and I hope that she, just like I said, just like he's gonna have his side of it. He's gonna be able to do the interviews. If he's able to do the interviews and he's able to do the documentary, and still allowed to make money or somehow get paid for it, I hope that she is on the other side of that coin. There's always there's two sides to a coin, man. And I hope that in her life, she just completely skyrockets off of it and just becomes this advocate for true justice.
In going off of what you just said, what was the takeaway from the victim impact statements? Who were people talking about the most? Wasn't Kohberger. It was her.
Yep.
It was her. And let's be honest, she didn't want this. None of them families wanted this. She would rather be living her life, simply out of victim resides with her sister and her sister's best friend.
Yeah, like I said, I don't know where she's at in her life. She might be postgraduate or maybe school, but this has impacted her life personally in a bad way. She lost a sister, and hopefully it can forego that and impact her life in a different way. And and hopefully she maybe she does something with it. Maybe she doesn't. We'll see. But she really stood her ground and she did an amazing job.
I was blown away by her. Blown away.
But strong men are not afraid of her. They'll encourage her.
Right. Absolutely. And she's, like you've said, we talked about a little bit earlier, that she's been, everybody wants to talk to her. Everybody wants to speak to her because they have been so impressed and so blown away at the strength she had to give the statement that she did. And I mean, none of us saw this coming, and it was amazing. We're not hearing about people talking about interviewing Kohberger right now. The focus is Olivia, and that's amazing. Amazing that she's the takeaway from this, not him. He's a piece of shit. She is the takeaway from this, and in a positive way because of how strong she is. It's again.
I mean, I could even argue from the religious. I can even come at you from a religious standpoint and tell you, look, you after a certain age, you are right from wrong. It doesn't matter if you have a mental health issue or you're whatever, it's wrong. Because you're going to have these people saying, well, we need to care for for this and that, and of course that's going to go back to that other, was it, the nature or nurture thing.
Mm-hmm.
It's gone too long. You've been too lenient on this. We need to. There's going to be a time where now we really have to, as a society, come and say, look, if we don't take care of this now, it's going to get bad later. So if you see signs of something, signs of potential issues there, you're going to have to address these issues, man. You're going to have to address them and not coddle, not just like, hey, let's no. You have to address it.
But will it be addressed?
We'll
You're
see.
saying you have to,
or you're going to give the powers that be. And like, that's what I'm talking about. What's happening now out there, and you see it in the news, it's going to change. If you don't address it, you're going to give the powers that be the control, and that's what's going to happen. What's happening right now.
I think it's already happened.
Well, probably it might have. But whose fault was that?
Right. No, I'm not arguing that. Carol said she said when her dad turned the podium to face Brian, it gave her strength to confront him. Yes, Carol, thank you for mentioning that. Yeah, her dad, you saw him when he came up, he physically turned the podium to be able that he was directly facing like eye to eye with Kohberger. And yeah.
That's how you faced evil.
Mm-hmm.
You face it head on.
Absolutely. And again, every single person that spoke did amazing and was so heartfelt and spoke their truth and just spoke what they had to say to him. And I just feel so bad that, like, I don't know what people expected of him. I'm not surprised he sat there just so motionless and emotionless. Yeah, but kind of going back to one of the things that Olivia said was like, because we all know that when he went to court, all the eyebrows were plucked out because one of the surviving victims commented on his eyebrows, and she called him on that and was like, oh, when you were one by one plucking out your eyebrow hair. I mean, she just eviscerated him.
There's a quote out there, but I'm going to change the wording a little bit.
Okay.
Where it's like, I'm gonna just change it. I'm gonna say, wolves are needed to keep bad wolves from the door, and she just became a wolf.
I don't even think I've heard that the original statement, but
well, the original is bad men are needed to keep bad men from the door.
Oh, gotcha.
I changed it a little bit just because of her.
Okay.
But she became like I said, man, I think she's really, this has changed her and made her a strong woman, and give her that praise because she's now become a wolf, and I hope that she become, like you said, she becomes an advocate for justice.
The world needs more people like Olivia.
Sure.
Really
Let's
do.
keep everybody safe.
Hey, Tony L, good to see you. Beckham is on a roll tonight, Kate. I mean, look what happens when he shows up on time. He's on his game.
Whatever, man.
This is a one-time occurrence, folks. So, Wolf says the one lady tried to face Lori Daybell and the judge said no to her. Did you catch that? No.
Oh, I see that. That's kind of bad.
I'll go back and see that. I
didn't watch that one. Yeah,
I will have to go back and see that. I might have missed that. Thank you, Wolf, for saying that. So the other part now. So, okay, Kohberger had his sentencing. The judge also, I will say, the judge got emotional too. The judge got emotional.
Well, because I think he's seen a lot of the evidence that we didn't see. Meaning, I don't know if you're going to bring it up, but I'll bring it up. But
go ahead. Wait. Are we going to talk about the unsealed documents now?
Yeah. That's why he got probably emotional, because he knows everything.
Yes.
Like I said, you don't know everything. Sometimes you don't have all the information. You could have a different reaction.
All right. Yeah. So, okay, let's get to that. Let's get to the unsealed documents first. But quickly, the prosecutor did make a statement after all the victims' families spoke, and was just like, this is how we got here, and kind of laid it out very simply, and even put it right back on the defense. Like, you have said your client was factually innocent, and basically now look at this, look at what we have. And he admitted to his guilt when you said he was factually innocent. Like, I thought that was very, very telling. Okay, thank you, Wolf. I will definitely check that out later for sure. But all right, before we get to the judge, the unsealed documents did come out after this, so just keep that in mind. But as Beckham was saying, the judge would have known this. So a lot of documents have come out now. Again, we would have heard it at trial, but nonetheless, here we are. And so now that the gag order has been lifted, a lot of things are becoming known to the public. So
I'll be here, Danny. Go ahead.
Yeah, that's fine. So do a deep dive if that's something you want to do. I will say disclaimer right now for anybody that's still watching and listening. Some of what I'm about to say is very graphic. So if you're like, I can't. If you want to bow out for the rest of the show, feel free to do so. So disclaimer, okay? So what we learned was different than when this crime first happened. We, as the media, from the media and as the public, were told that they were attacked and died in their sleep. That is so far from what actually happened. It's horrific what these kids went through. So Kaylee Gonzalez, for example, the stab wounds that she had, her face was so disfigured from those wounds. And it's very clear that there was a second weapon. We don't know what that is. We'll never know. The murder weapons have not been found. But it was clear that from the different wounds that the victims had, that there was a second weapon that Kohberger would have had. So Xana Kernodle, so we know that she got takeout food delivered, an Uber Eats order brought to her. Again, we were originally told she was stabbed and died in her sleep. That's not the case. She was attacked in the hallway, kind of stairway, and she was stabbed more than 50 times. More than 50. Many of the wounds were considered defensive wounds, indicating that she really tried to protect herself from this attack. One of the wounds, for example, her thumb was nearly severed off. And what it appears to have happened is when she was being attacked by the knife, that she grabbed it to try to stop another stab wound going to her. But like, imagine. So she was aware of what happened. So again, she fought for her life. In regards to Ethan Chapin, all of them said that they're college kids. They were out that night. They were having a good time. They were drinking. Every college student does that. Ethan had drank quite a bit and was basically passed out sleeping. And what we learned was some of the attacks he had on the back of his legs, where it was like the night. I wish I got the quote from the release documents, but I didn't, so my apologies. Basically, like, the knife was like from top to bottom, and like his tendons, like in his legs, hamstrings, like they were all just cut, severed through. Horrific. Let's see. After what we also learned was Kaylee Gonzalez told her roommates before that this attack happened that she thought she was being stalked. There was a man that she didn't recognize that she saw like from a distance just staring at her when she took her dog outside. So she went back in the house, and it frightened her enough that she made that known that she felt she was being watched. Another time, they came home back to their apartment, and they found that their front door was open and it was loose on its hinges. So a big question is, did Brian Kohberger get in that house before that night of the attack to see the layout? I would not be surprised, especially if the door was A lot, we see this with so many college apartments. So this is not out of the norm where people are coming and going. So you leave your front door unlocked, or like, if you're in a suite, like you leave the suite door unlocked. So that's not uncommon. So it wouldn't be surprising if we learned that he did get in that house before. But again, he would not have known that there was going to, Kaylee and Maddie were going to be in bed together that night, that Ethan Chapin was going to be staying over the night with his girlfriend Xana Kernodle. He would not have factored that in, but nonetheless. After the murders, we also learned that another teaching assistant who worked at his university noticed that Kohberger had some injuries. So this is what one of the release documents said. He stated that he had the injuries, including a scratch on his face and knuckle wounds. He said, well, he was in a car accident. However, there is no record of a car accident, of anything happening. So, but it was enough that one of the teacher's assistant noticed it and commented on it, and he gave that response. So that's just a little bit of what I took away from the release documents. Beckham, what about you?
Oh, this is okay. So again, this kind of goes to the evidence thing, the evidence questioning thing. God, the fact, I don't know, man. It's just, I like I said, we got to put the case to rest. But this is very Cielo-like to me, ish, crime scene.
Can you elaborate?
Was he capable of this by himself? Was he? Do we have evidence of him being like potentially? Was he? I mean, well, I'm sorry. Well, I had asked this in the chat earlier. Was he the time when he was from the time of the murders and when the time? What was the time frame between the murders, the night of the murders, and the time he was arrested? Was he drugged? I mean, what was that time frame? And was he still on drugs?
From what we've heard, he had been clean.
Okay.
But
I don't know, man. That's a lot. I didn't think 50 stabs and however much with these 4 victims. That's a lot.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if he did it alone.
Let me add this.
No, I don't want to get into this whole conspiracy theory thing. It's just that, man, the fact that they still haven't found the weapons, they haven't found. I mean, it was clean. He almost got away with it.
Mm-hmm.
And
the knife teeth.
I know, I get it, and the girl having different DNA underneath her fingernails during the defense time. They did say it wouldn't have been from earlier. It said it came from that time frame. I just don't. And you're gonna ask me, well, then why would he had said? Why did he take the plea deal if he didn't do it by himself? He would have taken that plea deal to end this now for protection of his family.
That's one theory. Or because he knew he would be found guilty and sentenced to death and he wanted to avoid the firing squad.
That too. So it's a win-win for him. Hey, you got caught. It's a win-win for you, as far as that goes.
Beckham, are you aware that when he was arrested, he said to police something to the effect of,
did you arrest anybody else
arrested for this as well?
That's a third thing. I forgot about that. Yeah. I don't usually, he's not a big guy either. That's the now that we know kind of some of the crime scene now, that's a lot of work. That's not easy to pull off what he did. And I've seen tests. I've seen physical tests done by police. Like fit guys, like young 30-year-old fit guys do it. And they're exhausted by like 30. Like seriously. And then to have to have the thought process of almost getting away with it. Like, I mean, forget that covers cleaning, doing this, doing that, getting rid of all that. I don't know, man. I'm gonna leave it at that. But I would be shocked if, like, one day when I don't know, just I'm just saying, like if I saw the real life video of it and he did it by himself, I'd be like, wow, okay, well, wow, like, because I'm not a betting person, but I would be willing to bet I know where those murder weapons are in another state.
I say wooded area, nearby wooded area. They're buried. But at the end of the day,
there's a reason why I said another state. But
I know. I mean, yeah, he took that road trip to with the Poconos with his dad. Well, there's been a lot of talk about going back to what you're saying with another person.
Shelly. You missed a lot, Shelly.
Shelly, you missed Beckham Vegas stories.
No, stop it. No, singular. Stop it.
But yeah, there's been a lot of talk going about what you were saying about could have been another person, of people saying, well, he said when he was arrested, was anybody else arrested for this too? So that some people are saying, crazy. See, maybe he didn't act alone. But then there's the other side of he was trying to see what law enforcement knew and trying to throw them off.
No, I'm not with that. I don't think so. That's a weak. No. He wouldn't have asked.
I'm saying that's what is being discussed right now.
You add that to me. If did you arrest anybody else like that? He knows he's the only one that did it. There's nothing that you could say.
So, but he's trying to throw them off.
No, there's no way, because he knows. He's a doctor. He's going for his doctorate. He at least knows policy. He might not know. He might not have the experience to conduct a true investigation yet, because he's not there yet. But he's gonna know law enforcement policy and stuff. That would not have he would have not said that for that reason. There's no way.
But he also has a huge ego and thinks he's the smartest one in the room.
I
feel like for every angle we look at, we can say the complete opposite as well. Like, what is this? So Wolf says, early in the case, I recall so many people saying no way to clean a car after something like that, and yet nothing in his car. So many things, but yeah, time to get over it.
Yeah, it's time. I just think when I saw the documents or heard about them, it was very Cielo Drive to me. Mm-hmm. I did not know it was that many stabbings. Like I said, what stuck out to me, you asked me, I've seen footage. I've seen training videos of a 30-year-old fit police officer or detective actually doing that on a platform, and by 35 he was dead tired. His arm he could barely move his arms. But that's why I was asking about the whole drug thing. Maybe he was in because I know he was.
This is what Kohberger wanted, an adrenaline.
Yeah, I don't know. No, dude. I mean, even past that, you're gonna be, wasted.
Again, this is
wasted, tired. Wanted. Yeah, I don't know. The physics. I'm just gonna say the physics don't add up to me in this. We can just close it, but to me, the physics do not add up to me. But that's what it is.
That's your opinion, and a lot of people think there are a lot of still different kind of avenues of different opinions on this. So you're not alone in that. I will, like, other people are questioning the same thing. At the end of the day, Brian Kohberger, his team approached, let's just remember that. It's not that the prosecution said, hey, we're giving you one last chance. No.
Yeah, I know.
The defense approached the prosecution and said, he's a psycho, energy level is different. K-Dog, I agree. The defense approached the prosecution for this deal. I still think the prosecution, in my opinion, should have added some caveats to it. Like, you got to tell us where the weapons are. You got to tell us why. It
that
might
would've
have been
been
a bullshit explanation, but something.
that would have been good to get the weapons at least. Now that we know there was another weapon, and now that we know the extent of the crime, that would have been. You're right, Danny. That's a good point, because I would have if I was the judge would have knew all this. I'm pretty sure the judge was, why don't you want to get more info? Why? I don't know. I bet the judge thought the same thing you just thought.
Yeah,
because he already knew he already had seen everything,
So speaking of that, because I know we kind of started it and we put it on hold to get through these documents. So the judge's
yeah, there you go.
sentencing.
Right.
I was very surprised in how much he came down on Kohberger. I thought he would, rightfully so, but sometimes judges kind of just have this wall of like, all right, here, I'm just doing my job. Here's this.
Right.
I felt he was like almost like very invested to be like basically,
because I think he saw everything. He knew everything.
Right. He was emotional. Like he was emotional during this. And he called Kohberger for what he was. I was very impressed with the judge. Very impressed and satisfied.
Because he knew exactly what had transpired on that crime at that crime scene.
So I am hoping after this that Kohberger, like, fuck him. I hope I don't want him to have these, we know people want the interviews and the books and I hope we are done with him. And I hope this is the beginning of Olivia Gonzalez changing the world for better. That's what I hope comes away from this.
She became a wolf.
She could be. Yeah, I am blown away by her. I think she can do anything in the world right now. I like.
Hey, maybe that's why Virginia Woolf's nickname is Virginia Woolf.
Wolf has had this.
I know. I think he did it
for quite like a while.
I think he did it for a song or something. I don't know.
All right. Yeah, so that is that for tonight, folks. A lot of cases that had updates this week. Let's hope that after tonight, we do not, for the longest time, talk Lori Vallow Daybell, Brian Kohberger, and I'm just going to throw Alex Murdoch in there because I know y'all want.
Hey, are we going to do the new? Are we going to do the new series on the ham sandwich story?
Oh, the Jeffrey Dahmer.
Yeah, we're gonna do the whole.
If people want us to review it, we will. It's okay. It was funny because like at the podcast convention, like again, you get a lot of content creators and you're talking, and I was just, like, we were talking about different documentaries and all of that, but yeah, I was just like, I'm like, I can't stand Netflix. And I'm shocked that they haven't tried to sue me because I make it very well known that I cannot take their documentary. I
still want to say thanks, Danny. Like a couple of years ago, you managed to get through we did a review of the new Texas Chainsaw because I'm a fan. We did, and oh boy, was it! And they had what's her name in it, and anyway, so the Queen of Scream, I believe, was in it. What's her name from Halloween?
Jamie Lee Curtis.
Yeah, I think she was in or they had a similar esque. I'm sorry, they didn't have her in the movie. They had a similar character, like Halloween does with her, in this latest installment, and we were just like, oh man. Anyway, you reviewed that with me, so if you want to, if it does come, and we'll take a look if you want.
Yeah, honestly, like not like any true like Netflix, Hulu, like Amazon Prime, whatever. If there's something coming out, and you're like, Danny Beckham, or if you don't want Beckham on, and you're just like, Danny, review it.
Come on, James.
I know, James. I saw that comment. Let us know. Let us know. We are more than happy.
James, I still think the ham sandwich is it's something more to the story.
No, it never happened.
I'm with James on that.
Oh, Zach, I see that little alien head. I'm like, oh God, what are you suggesting? No.
Oh, she did call him an alien.
Yes, she did.
Zach, are you that? Are you referring to her comment on her interview, like Thursday or Friday, about she literally feels he's not human. That Koberger is an alien. That's what she said.
Yeah, it's again, any documentaries, let us know for the true crime stuff. And you're like, hey, just a coincidence. All right, Zach. Sure. But yeah, let us know. We're more than happy to do so. I will begrudgingly watch a Netflix documentary for y'all. So I'm just saying. And then, last point, because the world was talking about it. So again, True Crime Podcast Festival, there will be a video coming soon, I promise. You get all these content creators in a room. Amazing, amazing content creators. What do you think we were all talking about?
Wait, start over.
Beckham, you're slowing down the momentum here. So, True Crime Podcast
I just want you to re-energize it.
True Crime Podcast Festival last weekend. You have all these amazing, well-established, smart, well-researched content creators in a room. Oh, hey, there's Cosmo. And what you got us all in a room. What do you think we're all talking about? The Coldplay concert.
Oh, that had just happened?
Yeah, and it happened here.
I didn't know it happened in
Boston.
I didn't know that.
Everybody was talking about it. And of course, me being me, like an absolute shit stir, I was just like, what's the bigger crime? That this was exposed on, like, at a Coldplay concert? Or this was exposed? Or that you find out your husband is into Coldplay?
Wait a minute. What's wrong with Coldplay?
Beckham.
I like some of their old stuff.
See, I'm not a Coldplay fan, but it was, oh my God, it was just so, like, everybody was just like,
dude, Yellow's a great song. I like Yellow.
Oh, I hate that song.
I like it. I like I like how they filmed it on the beach and the rain, the rain, and I thought that was I like Yellow.
Beckham would. Capone, that's actually my favorite comment of the entire night. I'm not gonna lie. He should have been fired just for going to a Coldplay. Thank you, K-Dog. Thank you.
Oh my God, you can't be a fan of Coldplay. Dude, for God's sakes, Paul's a fan of Nickelback.
No, he's not.
I thought yeah, I thought he is.
No, he hates that.
Oh.
Nobody is a fan of Nickelback except for Nickelback.
I thought he was.
No.
Because they're Canadian. I thought he supported the Canadian thing. I don't know.
He supports Canadians, but he doesn't support friggin' Nickelback. Oh God. It was just like everybody was like, oh my God. Yeah, and that happened here. So the Liz had a coworker that was at that concert. So
yeah. what happened though? Like it was one guy and his
if you have not seen the video back on
was it his secretary?
No, someone in charge of HR. What is this, James? Nickelback was playing in my local music store when they were just breaking big, and I bought my CD and left. Okay, I'm sorry, Capone. This is now my favorite comment.
Hold on, dude. What's the name of that song? How does Photograph? That's it.
I like a couple of songs from them. Brings me memories of when my oldest daughter was young, jamming out with her friends. So you know what, Shelly?
Thank you, Shelly. We can enjoy. We can enjoy Yellow together.
No, Beckham. No. What Shelly says is she likes the family memories that come from a song. She didn't say I love the song.
I'm gonna listen to Yellow tonight. I'm gonna listen to Yellow tonight. I like that song.
You do that, hon. And you can contemplate your life choices while you're doing that. Yeah. But anyways,
I hope the guy will listen. I hope that guy watches Danny After Dark. He says, hey, this Beckham guy knows what he's talking about. He's the coolest guy in the room. And, we got to get him on. We got to get him on stage or something.
If you would like to get him on Danny After Dark, you can by all means, you can reach out on my behalf, Beckham. I'm saying it right now on camera. And you can say, dude, I like Coldplay too.
Right.
He might say yes. He might say yes. I don't know. Yeah, no, he's talking about Yellow from Coldplay. Because, Beckham wants tickets to a Coldplay, Nickelback, and Creed concert. Oh, God, Creed. That's another one. I'm not trying to alienate.
Dude, when I was in college, girls just love that dude. Everybody was in love with that guy.
Not me.
Guy from Creed?
I know, not me. Yeah, and if anybody's watching this live or you're seeing it on repeat, you're like, Danny, what the heck? I like them. That's all good. I do not.
Who?
Clearly. But then again,
Nickelback?
I'm not a Nickelback, Creed, or Coldplay fan. That's just me. My favorite band is the Monkees, hands down. And I love Fleetwood Mac. You know what I mean? To each their own. To each their own.
You like to monkey around.
To each their own. But yeah, that happened here in Boston. So
I thought the Monkees were cool. I thought the Monkees were cool when I was 8 and I saw them on TV.
They're still cool. It's only Mickey left, but they're still amazing. Best band ever. All right. So as we wind this down, so as a reminder, book club will be next week's show episode. That is next Thursday night, Lynette Fromey's Reflection. So tune in for that if you'd like to. I'm still working on my notes, but to hear my notes on it and my thoughts on it, and my honest opinion on the book. If you missed earlier this week, the Liz was on with me and we interviewed Omar from True, the Boston crime tours. That was awesome. It was a tour me and Liz and another friend took from him, and it was amazing. So
I'm sorry. I mean, I watched some of the interview, but how did the logistics go? Like he drove. Like how was that?
No. So for anybody that books the tour, you meet up at a place that he has a location point where you all meet. Everybody who's doing the tour in Boston, and it's a walking tour.
Oh, okay. And how many people? What's the capacity?
It varies. When it was us, it was me, Liz, and our friend, and then another couple that were in from LA.
Oh, okay. Oh, so it was kind of like when you and I did the thing on the Hollywood sign thing. Kind of like that. Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Cool. That's when we met Lesh.
Yes.
Yep. Gotcha.
So it was an amazing tour. Omar was awesome. So I'm like, I want everybody to know about this tour. I want everybody.
Next time we're there, just let's do that. I want to do that. I want to.
100%. No, that was already the plan without me even telling you what you were going to sign up for. If next time you come, we're doing that tour with Omar, 100%. So, other than that, everybody, thanks for sticking around tonight. Sorry about the technical difficulties earlier in the show, and I had to shut down that other stream. So my apologies for that. But thank you all.
Great show, guys. Thanks a lot.
Thank you, Beckham, for being on time.
Oh, my God. Calm down.
All right, everybody. Thank you for joining us, and we'll see you next week. Remember, until next time, we don't live in darkness. Darkness lives in us. Bye, everyone.